Ladies and gentlemen, think of the future of others, but never of your own. It's time to think about the future when the present is over. Here are some of his popular quotes by George Bernard Shaw. In my opinion, it's very current. He's a renowned writer, a critic who left behind many valuable thoughts and renowned for his role in revolutionizing the comedy drama genre. He was also a literary critic and a prominent British socialist. His highest grossing work, Pygmalion, was adapted into the popular Broadway musical My Fair Lady. A conservative by nature, he often shared his views on social injustice, women's rights, and vegetarianism. However, Shaw often held contradictory and controversial views. He wrote over 60 plays, including such seminal works as Man and the Superman, Pygmalion, and St. John. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. A reasonable man adapts to the world. An unreasonable man tries to adapt the world to himself. That's why great progress is made thanks to unreasonable people. The more I get to know people, the more I love animals. People incapable of great crimes don't suspect others of them. You realize it's not about killing someone with the axe. £10 is a lot of money. A person can settle down and then goodbye happiness. There is no laugh more sincere than the laugh of food. I adored Pope Francis for his cooking and his dining habits. It's easier to live with picky women than with boring ones. What is life but a series of inspired follies? Some people see things as they are and ask why. I dream of what has never been and ask, why not? Ideals are like stars. Even if we cannot achieve them, we must orient ourselves by them. The greatest problem in communication is the illusion that it has happened. People who claim it cannot be done should not in the least hinder those who do. Do not do to your neighbor what you would have them to do you. This is a good principle, but it has its limits. It's precisely about the thread of communication and mutual understanding. As long as I have needs, I have a reason to live. Satisfaction is death. We, a tolerant nation, the bulwark of Christianity, still feed on the myth of nobility in Poland. I speak well in this context. As I speak to you, I have drawn a few thoughts, as I said, from Bernard Shaw, the latter whose words were feared even in America, alluded in an interview to the world's bankruptcy during World War I, with the repertoire that combined contemporary satire and historical allegory. Shaw became a leading playwright of his generation. He later declared that the man of spiritual intensity does not eat corpses. Shaw considered food a tedious necessity and was a staunch advocate of chaste living. In addition to avoiding meat, he didn't drink alcohol, smoke cigarettes, and drank neither tea nor coffee. Nothing happens in this world unless people are prepared to kill each other if it doesn't happen. There are two tragedies in life. One is losing one's heart's desires, the other is gaining them. One is losing something one loves, the other is regaining something one loves. In 1925, Shaw received the Nobel Prize for Literature. The greatest happiness on earth is the conviction that one is loved. Loved for oneself, let's say even more, in spite of oneself. This is the true joy of life, to be used for a purpose you yourself deem noble, to be a force of nature rather than a feverish, selfish bundle of ailment and regrets, complaining that the world isn't dedicated to making you happy. Ladies and gentlemen, someone told me it would be better if you had never been born. Well, I have always fought for the happiness of the whole world. True, I was never born, but if I have to smile, I smile for the camera now. People see me, but I don't see them, although I am an universal optimist. And even Pope Leo is often a pessimist. People see me as a man of the theater. With my visit to your home, to the old Poles, I would like to be noticed as the author of my reports and stories about our world. People cannot see me, but I always say good morning to them and smile for the camera. Otherwise, I would be destroyed, so I am always smiling. The biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has happened. I said, he never missed a single opportunity. He participated in all the debates in various London societies, clubs, and associations. He soon felt his dizziness and nervousness subside. In this way, he secured his freedom of speech. The art of government is an organization of idolatry. Bureaucracy is composed of officials, aristocracy, and of idols, democracy of idolaters. The people do not understand bureaucracy. They can only worship national idols. The corrupt people can't believe that anything happens in this country without corruption. In Pygmalion, Shaw used a Greek myth. It tells the story of a linguistic professor who bets he can change the language and etiquette of a flower girl in Covent Garden and present her as a lady at the ambassador's ball. Galatea will never truly like Pygmalion. His attitude towards her has something too divine to speak to the heart. I would like to refer to Franz Kafka now. At the age of 40, Franz Kafka, who never married or had children, was walking through a park in Berlin when he encountered a crying girl. Concerned, he asked why and discovered that the girl's beloved doll was missing. Kafka, determined to comfort the distressed child at all costs, conceived the idea of sending a letter from the missing doll to its owner, little Lina. Kafka advised the girl to return to the park at the same time the next day, and together they would search for the missing doll again. When the doll was missing the next day, Kafka gave the girl a letter, supposedly written by the doll. Please don't cry. I have gone on a journey to see the world. I will write to you about my adventures. Thus begins a story that lasts for the rest of the writer's life. Every day, Kafka arrives at the park, sits on a bench under the rhododendron where he first spoke to the girl, waits for Lina, and reads her a letter about the doll's adventures. These meetings slowly take on a character of a ritual. The little girl and the tall, slim, elegantly dressed man sit on the bench at the same time every day until the clock strikes 2. During the meetings, Kafka reads the doll's carefully written letters of adventures and conversations, which the girl finds charming. Finally, one day the writer brings a real doll to the meeting and gives it to Lina. She doesn't look like my doll at all, the girl says. The man then gives her another note, written by the doll. My travel have changed me. The girl hugs the new doll and happy carries it home. A year later, Franz Kafka dies. Many years later, the now adult girl finds a letter in the doll containing the following words written and signed by Kafka. Everything you love will probably be lost, but eventually love will return in another way. So ideals are like stars. Even if we can't achieve them, we must orient ourselves by them. Joy is the only thing that multiplies if shared. Happiness is not a goal, it's a byproduct of living life to the fullest. What is life if not a series of inspired follies? There is no progress except change, Shaw said. On August 6th, a National Assembly was convened in Warsaw, during which Karol Nawrocki will be sworn in as a president. Former President Lech Wałęsa posted a photo of an invitation from Sejm Speaker Szymon Hołownia on social media. The same speaker invites you to the ceremonial taking of the oath by the President of the Republic of Poland before the National Assembly. We read. In a comment under the photo, Wałęsa announced that he would not be attending the swearing-in ceremony. I refuse to participate in this scandalous spectacle, he wrote. A reasonable person adapts to the world. An unreasonable person tries to adapt the world to himself. That's why great progress is made thanks to unreasonable people. It's easier to live with fickle women than with boring ones. As Shaw once said, women ruin everything. All you have to do is let them into our lives to see that the woman wants one thing and we want another. The difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how they behave, but how they are treated. Ladies and gentlemen, you see me now. Would the world have been created if the Creator had been afraid to cause trouble? To create life means to create trouble. There is only one way to avoid trouble: kill. Cowards, remember, always cry out loud that they had to kill people who cause trouble. All great truths begins as blasphemies. Once we've learned to fly through the air like birds, swim underwater like fish. The fourth Pope is not Italian in Europe now. In the Catholic Church, we lack only one thing: to learn to live on earth like humans. I want to be completely exhausted when I die, because the harder I work, the more I live. I enjoy life for its own sake. Life isn't a short candle for me. It's a kind of magnificent torch I hold in my hand for now, and I want it to burn as brightly as possible before I pass it on the future generations. Remember, you are a human being endowed with a soul and with that wonderful gift of God that is articulate human speech. The secret of being unhappy is having free time to devote to wondering whether we are happy or not. In the theater of life, everyone can have fun except the actor. Don't try to live forever. You won't succeed. George Bernard Shaw was asked on his deathbed, "What would you do if you could live your life over again?" He thought for a moment, then replied with a deep sigh, "I wish I were the person I could have been but never was. I pray that never happens to you."